This is day 2 of my self-created challenge of unknown days in a row to meditate on or do heart meditations every day. And I did 1 hour yesterday and 1 hour today, of which 40 minutes just silence and 20 minutes of loving or sending loving kindness to beginning with myself and then extending it further and further, beginning with family and then family and friends, and then the city, and then the state and country, and then the world, and then the universe. And I just want to make a short update every day on things I learned. So I have a bunch yesterday together with today, because I didn't do a video yesterday on this. But so yesterday I wrote down that I found it easy to, on the second step, the family and friends, to instead of bringing people that I know already and have in my circles and have had, it was easier to that time take future family and also soul family, actually. But yeah, that is related to a little insight that I'm working on, and will be my next letter probably, or close future one / long video then. But yeah, I think that was that for yesterday. And I also noticed just that it was kind of nice that it was nice to combine the skills that I'm keeping warm also on evenings, most evenings, where I sit in silence for 1 hour, and that one has begun with being just with the breath and meditating on the sensation of the breath in comparison to the thought of the breath, which takes plenty of hours, or took plenty of hours for me to finally get the hang of. And then it's a fresh thing that you need to keep up regularly, I notice. But I have recently begun moving away from just the breath to having it be an observation of everything that I feel and experience, but still having it be the sensation of it instead of the thought of what's happening. So combining that with or having that as a warm-up or introduction to the 20-minute loving kindness now felt really useful, as it helps to have that with you in the process of doing something as hard as it can be sometimes to actively meditate on love and kindness, or loving kindness, which is it can be quite complicated for a beginner and even an advanced meditator, I think. But at least for someone as me who trying to come back to it, and who is a heavy thinker also. But so what I mean is that I need tools and warm up for those situations when the brain wants to take over. So when I just when I notice that happen, for example, I can notice that in my breath actually, where it gets, I feel some sort of stress and I feel the lack of oxygen. I have use of the warm-up and a skill of bringing that back to the sensation of it, and then it balances out again, because I just am with it. I can be with it then, and then it quickly resolves. And I can continue there with the loving kindness meditation. And I am using, still I have recordings from a couple of years ago when I downloaded them from my friend Ryan, that I speak about a lot because he has been the teacher for me in this. And laid out the foundation for me to explore on my own. Because what he also told me actually once was that, and which I find to be the biggest key, is that once you get out of sort of the beginner mode, or when you have done the basics of loving kindness, such meditation or any meditation, I think you need to find your own keys, or ways of navigating that field, because it's highly personal how you do it. Otherwise the mind will take over and you won't come anywhere. That is my experience as well, and my words on it now. sort of what I talked about in my last video or letter, with or my words on it were in that letter, with the right brain having to take over as our rocket ship needs to leave the rocket in order for the capsule to continue upwards. And okay, so that was yesterday. So today I already felt ready to go back and bring in the sometimes more difficult relationships, or connections that you can have with your close circle, which you love the most, but they often hold the most complicated and sometimes triggers, and which makes it challenging to have them as object of loving kindness. But I felt like I was ready for that, and it went pretty well. But for the entirety actually today of the loving kindness 20 minutes there, I did this thing that I just mentioned of finding your own way, my own way. And that often has to do with when I remember the frequency of that. It is just the best way for me of explaining it right now is to well, it has to be different words on it every time, so right now I will try my best of, because this is highly not intellectual, it is highly practical, but I will do my best and say that it was like, of course I want happiness for everyone. What else is there? Sort of that thing. That, yes, I know, and I sort of can access this and I could today access this frequency of it. What can I say? Where I want to put words to this, but I don't know if it's possible, but let's just do it plainly. I see a child, I think often I see, this is not intellectual, this is just what happens. Sort of like trying to explain a dream. You can't be there with your skepticism, because then like, this doesn't make sense, so I won't tell this. But when you tell your dreams anyways, and you know how to interpret them, there will be keys for symbolism that will bring messages from your subconscious. But so in this way I would just go with it. So I see my brother, I think, / other kids, and so he's like an archetype for children that I obviously in that moment want to be happy, because why do I want that? I mean, there are plenty of reasons intellectually, but I wanna go to the feeling and the experience here, where I don't know, I think it stops there. I think that immediately kicks me into the heart field, where it all makes sense again, that hey, what do I love? Well, I love when people are happy and when I'm happy. You know, that perfect sense of when you're a child yourself and it's summer. Maybe it is vacation, or it's someone's birthday or your birthday or Christmas, and your family's there and friends are maybe there, and so it's pretty, so that is pretty easy to say that is what I love the most, because that is a vibe, that is something that the world can, everyone can access, and it is what we, aware of it or not, do everything for ourselves to feel that, and for others, because if others don't feel it, you can't really feel it fully, and it's a teamwork thing, I guess. So I don't know if that made sense, but that is what I had with me for the whole spread of loving kindness today. And I reinforced it on every part, like, okay, first my closest circle. Actually, I had trouble because I didn't come to that before the closest circle, so that was more precisely the first target was myself, so I had trouble there getting into the state. I'm sorry myself, but I know that my intention and my effort and my willingness to feel that towards myself at all times is there, and therefore I am grateful, and there comes love from that, so that was okay. But yeah, so from the first circle outward and forward, I could then reinforce it in the meditation and go back to that again. That's yes, of course I want this, and this is, and there is the instant pop to the frequency that loving kindness is aiming to take us into. So since I have experience of this before, and getting pretty far into it, where I have to leave the thinking in order to keep it perpetuating, I pretty much knew what to do, and I did that and had that as the object of the meditation. And just what that means is, an object of meditation is what you go back to all the time gently when you lose focus, which inevitably happens. More or less in a meditation, but decreasingly so. yeah, I think that is enough for this update. I find it hard to keep myself short when explaining stuff because there's so much it is quite difficult to explain these inner experiences sometimes, but then I wanna make sense the best I can, but yeah, so I will probably keep I just felt intuitively that I wanna record this now, but I think it's really helpful also for the process. For me of putting words into it, and yeah, it makes me learn the fastest that I can, because my goal is, for those of you who don't know, is to become a master or excellent at being in this frequency of love that the most that I can, because I indeed have had the most meaningful and powerful experiences in that space, and it is what we all have as children, and it is what I believe in spirituality as well, is the highest thing. I believe all the masters tried to teach this, but then we over intellectualize something it and yeah, but it's highly practical, and yeah, so and yeah, practical can mean, you know, first going to the meditation and doing this, but then having it in actions on everyday life, of course. Okay, see ya.